This is the fishbone stitch used in hand embroidery. It's great for creating leaves and petal shapes using a series of overlapping straight stitches. So I'm going to show you how to do that working on a leaf shape. And you can see that I've drawn a spine down the middle of the leaf. I'm going to start with a straight stitch from the tip of the leaf about 1/4 of the way down the center. Coming up on the left, I'm going to take my needle down to the right of the spine, overlapping just the tip of that straight stitch. Now I'm going to come up on the right on my design line and move down to the left on the other side of the spine so that I overlap my previous stitch. So you can see that the movement of the stitch is just straight stitches working at a diagonal, always overlapping the tip of the previous stitch. Now, to get the fishbone stitch to look good, you have to keep the angle of the stitch correct. So when you come up on your design line, you're coming up fairly close to your previous stitch, but when you go down, notice that I'm coming down quite a bit below the end of the previous stitch. And that keeps the angle of the stitches correct so that they cross over the tip of each other, but they don't crowd each other and they don't overlap each other. You don't want each stitch to overlap the previous stitch. You just want it to cross over the very tip. So I'm working here down to the end of the shape, and you can see that I'm running into the design line as I take my stitches down into the fabric, and that's okay because we're going to cover that up. So as you get to the end of the shape, you're just going to fit your stitches in, still overlapping them as much as you can, until the shape is practically full. So here I'm still overlapping at the end. And I can take at least one more stitch here on the left, coming up on the design line, and then down, overlapping the very tip of the previous stitch. And now I still need to fill in the right side. So now it's just a matter of taking a couple straight stitches just to round out the shape. So here's the last stitch, just to round that out, take it to the back. And that is the fishbone stitch. For more tips and techniques on hand embroidery, stop by and visit me at Needle and Thread.